All right, so I thought I would give an update first before I go on with my story because there's not too much more left to the story. I think there's going to be two more parts and then that's going to be it. But there's been a lot happening the past few weeks since I was let out of jail. Hopefully you can hear me over the cars. But yeah, I thought I would just fill everybody in on what's been happening. The first thing that's been happening is my stuff got stolen a couple of weeks ago. It happened one night. Like, I just woke up, and once again, like, I must have been dead asleep because somehow they did not wake me up. And when I woke up, I automatically knew something was wrong. Because it seemed like my stuff was like shuffled around and everything. And so when I looked into like my paper bag that I had with all my stuff in it, like some stuff was moved around, and I know I didn't do that. So I knew, like, something happened, like somebody messed with it or took something. So the first thing I did was like look at my wallet, and stuff was like moved all around my wallet. I'm like, okay, I could have done that, but it's not really possible because if I move around anything in my wallet or just period, I always put it back where it belongs. So starting to like, get more concerned. And so like, I'm putting everything back, and I look and I see my debit card is missing, and that's how I know, like, after looking everywhere else and I'm not finding it and double, triple, quadruple checking, I knew that my stuff had been stolen at that point. So I looked to see if anything else was stolen. They left everything else. They just took that one thing. They took my debit card. And sure enough, when I finally charged my phone and checked my email, I got an email saying that there was some suspicious activity on my debit card. And of course my service is disconnected, so I can't call to make sure or anything. So the only thing I could do is get a new card sent, and I don't have an address, so I don't know how that's good, but I got to do something because but that was the only thing they took. And they were so lucky because if I had caught them, if they had woken me up and I caught them in the act of stealing from me, I would have been in jail again. Or maybe worse. But I think that's like the second time in my life that somebody's successfully stolen from me. There are other times people have attempted, and I'm just on my guard and everything, so it never happened, but this time it did. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, what was the second thing? I'm losing track of stuff. But the other thing is that I started sleeping in the park again, and I got sick a couple of days ago. I don't know what from. I just, I had a fever. I had a headache for like a couple of days. And I can't sleep in a chair all the time. I gotta lie down. Also, my feet were giving me, that's probably the only thing. The other thing, my feet were giving me issues again. They started swelling, had troubles walking again. That's because I can't lie down, elevate my feet. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to sleep in the park again because I'm not going to keep going through this. Who knows how long I'm going to continue to be out here living on the streets. So I can't continue to, at least I was somewhat comfortable. At least I was somewhat, trying to make it work before I was arrested and everything. And now it's just, this made things a whole lot worse. So I'm back to sleeping in the park. I've actually been sleeping in the park for the past couple of nights Nothing has happened. I set an alarm clock. This time I never set alarm clocks, by the way, because usually my body wakes itself up. But I set an alarm clock this time just so I just don't have to deal with any nonsense. I don't have to deal with any BS. And so yeah, what else was? Oh, I used my pepper spray. I should have mentioned this first. That was the first thing I want to talk about, but I had a lot. I just forgot. I used my pepper spray for the first time last night. I think this was the same guy. I can't be sure, but let me just explain what happened. So at night, I usually put my jeans on because it gets cooler. And I usually kind of do it somewhat discreetly and kind of step off into like a somewhat private area to do that. Because even though I got shorts on, it's not like I'm taking something off and putting my jeans on. I was putting my jeans on over my shorts. But I still like to be discreet about it. And so, because there's weird people out here. And so that's what I did last night. I just slipped my jeans on. And then I was in the middle of buttoning my jeans up and buckling my belt when this guy showed up and he sat directly across from me. He sat directly across from me. So I glanced up at him, but I just grabbed my stuff and I moved because, I'm used to hopping from place to place just because of all. And by the way, ever since I got out, released, I noticed there are a lot more homeless people and a lot more mentally ill people in this area that I noticed than a couple of months ago before my arrest. So that's what I was thinking in my head when they arrested me. Okay, you got me, bravo, but for every one of me, there's hundreds more. And so you're going to be dealing with this every day 100 times worse for who knows how long until you actually want to solve the problem instead of just arresting people. Anyways, I'm getting off track. That's another subject. But so I moved somewhere, didn't finish buttoning my pants or anything. I moved, set my stuff down, finished doing my pants back up. And so I sat down and I just stayed there. And then not too long after, I don't think I even finished doing my belt up and everything before he came again. And he started, I couldn't hear what he's saying over the traffic because we're by traffic. But he started I don't know what he was, I honestly couldn't hear or understand what he was talking about. Because I don't believe he's right in the head. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I told him I don't know what you're talking about. And I was cussing and stuff, but I'm going to try not to cuss on here anymore. I was I don't know what the F you're talking about and all that stuff. But so he repeated himself, but I'm talking over him. And this is what I hate. I'm too old to be going back and forth with other grown adults. I don't do that anymore. I don't have time for that. I don't have the time or energy to do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. But, some people just get off on doing that. I don't know. But so we're going back and forth. And so he's I don't like when people linger around me. I don't like when they hang around me, especially if you're being as hostile and aggressive as he is. So he's I'm going to sit down next to you. And he didn't sit directly next to me. I'm that's not sitting next to me. He's well, I don't want to get too close. So, it's retarded. But, so, let me just skip to the part. So, we're going back and forth. And so I'm okay, I know how to make him get out of here. So I start getting personal. Sometimes, if you make me mad enough, I get personal with my insults. So that's what I did. So I brought up his mom. And he called me, a bitch. And then I said, your mom's a bitch. And he's what'd you say about my mom? And then because he saw the pepper spray in my hand. I was digging in my pants for. He's like, "Are you gonna pepper spray me?" I'm like, "I'm gonna do more than that." But that's what I ended up doing. He said, "What'd you say about my mom?" He got up close to me, bam, right in the face. And so yeah, and then like he's like, "Oh, it didn't get me." Sometimes like if the wind blows it away, I don't know, but I'm like, "Oh yeah, it did," because like, why are you walking away? He's like walking away. And so I still like continued to like go at him and everything until he was gone. And no, I did not film that, so I don't have any footage of that, but it did happen last night, literally last night. And so I got my first use out of my pepper spray, and it wasn't a lot, just enough to get him away from me. And he kept saying like, "I'm gonna sleep over here tonight, I'm gonna sleep over." So that's why I'm thinking like, this is the same guy. What I mean by the same guy, there was this guy, and this has become a problem area now. I used to sleep over there a couple times, there was no issues, but now, like I said, there's more homeless and mentally ill. So I'm just having more problems with people during the day and night too. So now, like, I used to not really carry my weapons and stuff around during the day. Now I'm kind of doing it during the day and the night. And I mean, I should do that anyways, because anything could happen anyways. He didn't come back. So there was this guy, and it happened at night when I was like in that area, sleeping in that area. And I woke up and he's sat down on the ground just a couple of inches away from me from where I was sitting. So I got up and I moved. And he did this 3 times. He kept, every time I moved, he would sit near me. He would move where I was. He would wait a little while and then he would come back. The second time I noticed that he was like, I didn't have my glasses on, but on the corner of my eye, I could see like he was making like some jerky movements. And so it seemed to me like he was masturbating. And I think he was, because on the third time that I caught him, his belt was open, his pants were all open. And I didn't look any further down than that, but I did notice his pants were open. That's the third time that he, came near me. So on the third time, I get so tired of just moving and moving, especially if you're following me. Now you're kind of stalking me. I have zero tolerance for that. So I like, okay, I'm probably gonna get into a altercation again. But whatever, gotta, protect myself. So I'm like, okay, here we go. I took my glasses off, set them down. I tied my hair back. I got up. I approached him, walked up to him. He was sitting down nearby where I was. And I said, look, I don't care. I don't care what kind of mental issues you got going on. You can't keep following me. You got to go. And I'm like, he's not going to listen to that. Was going to argue, fight, whatever. But surprisingly, he listened to me. He, stood up. I noticed that he was, taller than me. And I'm like, okay, he's standing up, like, what's going to happen? And then he apologized, like, really quietly. And then he started walking to another area in the same area where I am. I'm like, oh no, you gotta leave this area altogether. So he did. He turned around and he left. And I called after him. I said, don't come back. And he didn't for that entire night. And some nights after that, I didn't see him come back. So that's why I'm thinking that's the same guy, because he kept saying, I'm gonna sleep there tonight. I'm gonna sleep there tonight. And he was angry at me. I'm like, do I know this person? And then when he said, I'm going to sleep there tonight, I'm thinking, now, I only saw this guy briefly once. I didn't get a real good look at him. But I'm pretty sure this is the same person. And if it is, I feel even better that I sprayed him, because even though he didn't touch me, I felt, violated, especially since, he's openly masturbating. And I forgot, he had the nerve, when I sprayed him, he had the nerve to threaten to to like threaten to call the police on me. And I'm like, go do it. The station is right there, like literally just across the street. Like, you're gonna do that, go do it. But yeah, the nerve to do that after he's following me all over the place, being aggressive, all this stuff. And this was before I sprayed him. He said that when I'm just minding my own. So before I make this video too long, those are the updates, and I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. It's all in my notes, so I'll check my notes if I am missing something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And the next video will be me continuing the last few parts of my jail story. But yep, pray for me like always. Later.